I've got some time to chat. You know a fast road? That toon is always sleeping around in the oddest of places. Once I found him even sleeping on one of the many trees here in Garden View. I'm not sure how long he'd be there if I hadn't woke him. I got something I can share, but randomly can be seen carrying that inky little sculpture he calls Junior. Not sure if he truly has any attachment to that little art project of his, but I keep seeing him recreate the thing. Honestly, a bit up to me. Buxton's been up late at night recently. Tells me he can sleep when I ask him of it. I wonder if a music box ever needs his own music box to sleep. Pff, what an idea. Have you heard of this book club some toons are attending? You have to be invited to such. How exclusive! It's a shame I'm far too busy to attend even if I wanted to. Garden View depends on me to keep things running well. Brusha once approached me and asked if she could paint me. I declined. There's no way I have the time to sit for hours and hold a pulse. I may be Dyle Timesley, but I'd rather not waste that much time. Dendicus doesn't believe me when I tell him, but I swear Connie's watching me invisibly at times. I'm told I may be simply paranoid, but I don't believe so. Between you and me, I think Cosmo's baking is better compared to Sprout's baking, which is shocking because I believe Cosmo has burnt more batches of baked goods. But oh, when that sweet food isn't burnt, it's delectable. I hope you're aware any earnings I receive from purchases go right back to Dendicus. I work alongside him. We're associates in a way. No, I am not allowed to take tips. You know, Finn is in terrible company. I'd argue I enjoy his company. I allow him to ramble on about his aquatic interests, and in return, I get to go on about my train interest. It's the perfect trade-off. Oh, and let me tell you about Flutter. She's lovely trolley, but I can't help but wonder how far she could truly fly. Think about it. She can fly for so long, but how high up could she reach? Could she perhaps pass the clouds? I can only wonder. I can't even fathom how anyone can pass by Gigi's room and not be concerned. I swear every time I pass by that room, she just asks more things. How many things can one have? How many collections warrant such? You know what? I'll admit something. I'm concerned for Glisten. The amount of times I've seen that mirror bump into things. Well, it's concerning to see the list. I asked him if he was clumsy perchance. He, of course, went on did that toon he uses. No, I'm Glisten. I'm perfect, not clumsy. I can see through that. Here's a little something to know about me. I don't like physical contact. I rather people ask before they go and hug me and whatnot. You know who loves to hook? Goop. I honestly don't have the energy to deal with his energy somethings. You know, the circus bunch, or whatever they call themselves. I wondered if such an unlikely group would be friends if it weren't for the fact that they work together. Honestly, I don't know if I consider anyone here even a friend. I consider everyone more of a co-worker, associate. I don't have the luxury of friends. Time to spare? Well, I got something I can share. And I'll tell you one thing for certain. That bedrock Dendicus has is fascinating. He recognizes all sorts of commands. So he doesn't just do them for anyone. I've seen only do certain actions and tricks for toons he prefers. Mostly tricks to cheer up Dendicus from what I've observed. You know, if you really think about it, a bubble called Puppy is a bit morbid. Maybe it's just me. Have you seen the twin masks? Razzle and Dazzle. Children used to get their names very mixed up, but I've heard they both really enjoy their names. Can't say I hate my own. Dyle, it really suits me. That may sound a little bit silly to you, but Dyle Timesley is in fact my full name. Haha. I sometimes like to do my own small record keeping and investigations. I'm told I'm not allowed to be speaking with Roger. Scraps once asked me if I prefer dogs or cats. I answered cats as otherwise I feel like it would be very, very awkward. But between us, I don't particularly like either. I prefer ponies. I've been looking through some old records at some point, letters-wise and whatnot. You wouldn't believe how many letters I found of Shelley's. She'd go on and on writing to the founders of Garden View, many writings of dinosaurs specifically. I swear that was possibly 5 pins worth of letters. Honestly, I'm not sure why we keep Shrimp around. I've had intrusive thoughts of just taking him on a train ride one day. And that would be his last stop ever. Oh well. I often actually chat with Sprout, seeing as I supply fresh food here. There is a train that lives outside of Garden View itself. I ensure supplies and end up here. Of course, no, the toon is allowed on this specific train. You wouldn't imagine the things they have to do to ensure we get a few luxuries. Tegan was requested to host one of her iconic tea parties on a train. Sadly, I couldn't allow that, but imagine the atmosphere. That's the best place for tea aboard a train. Anything is better on a train, actually, except snakes. I can appreciate someone like Tisha. She's actually very punctual. That is unless she's cleaning and, well, she cleans very often. Maybe she isn't all that punctual when you drink on that fact. I can't help but feel a little bad for Toodles. The poor girl doesn't exactly have friends her age. Unless we count that Kitchen Place was around Halloween, thought I wouldn't count such. Those holiday themed tunes barely show around when it isn't their season. You know, I was never one for this game show. And I'm not just saying that based on all the riveting stories that Nichols tells me about her. He definitely does not enjoy her company. Don't tell anyone else, but sometimes I leave candy for Yato about the trains. Just a little handful, but it's always gone by the time I return. A little disclaimer, by the way. Sorry if I pronounce things bad. It's just that English is not my first language. And I'm trying my best, okay? I'm trying my best, so sorry if I mispronounce some things or tell them a little bit off. Anyway, that's all. Bye.